Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Christmas festive watch party for the 1984 TV movie, which I regard as an all-time classic version of A Christmas Carol. As always, I'm Andrew, and I'm joined by a very festive Dominic in his Christmas jumper. Welcome, Dominic.
Hello, everybody. I also have a festive coffee. It's very pepperminty. I don't like it very much.
Oh dear. At least it's not cranberry. But so, will you be turning your Christmas lights off tonight, Dom?
Now I want to gamble. I want to roll them.
Will you
bones
never be
and see
turning
what
them
happens.
on a game, just in case?
Absolutely, go Ravens! We beat the Steelers. Yeah.
Oh gosh, right.
Sorry.
Okay, so your sync point tonight, gang, is about 6 seconds in, where we see entertainment partners on the screen. So about 6 seconds in. Right, let's go through a roll call and get down to this. So I can see tonight we are joined by Immortal Rimus, Hell if I Know, Lizard Man, Mad Matt, Sharon, welcome. And then we also have Hell if I Know, Ms. Swift, Neil Whaley, James Hellier, welcome. Let's keep going down my list. Calbot is here. Freebird 0147, welcome. Edward the Black Prince, great to see you back. Amy Wilder, welcome. Immortal Rimus, Neil Whaley, Johnny Devick, Eric is here. So, guys, when did you... Who's seen this film before, this iteration of the film before? I saw this on TV a number of years ago, and I thought, wow, it's the best sensible version of the film I've seen now, sort of serious version. It's got a tremendous cast, great performances, and the atmosphere is perfect. You said you've never seen it, Dom?
Nope, never seen this version. That's because, growing up in England in particular, around theatre a lot, because, Shakespeare's home was not too far from me growing up. Like an hour's train ride, we'd go and see versions of A Christmas Carol on stage all the bloody time. I just don't...
Do you mean Dickens, Dom?
No, I just mean like being around theatre.
Oh, right, okay, I was going to say, I thought you implied that
was
Shakespeare
by
wrote
the
Christmas Carol for a moment there.
No, not at all. Just the theatre was prominent in my upbringing.
I see.
And I saw many iterations of this on stage, so often as a kid. Also, my dad put on... He didn't actually conduct them or anything, but he was present in a pub that did pantomimes like every year. And Christmas Carol was one of them. There was a pantomime version of A Christmas Carol. I don't know how...
A bold choice, how you do that.
I can't really remember how. I just remember...
They found a way.
Yeah, they found a way. Where's the ghost of Christmas future? It's behind you!
You. I can see the chat saying Miss Swift saw this, she thinks, when it came out originally. And Sharon saw this when it came out a long time ago. Neil Whaley says my parents watch this version every year. Calbot saw it on CBS when it first aired. Edward that Black Prince says I lost track of versions a long time ago. And Lizard Man, I've seen it a lot. Very good rendition of the story next to the Muppets one. Amy Wilder, I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's wonderful. Hell if I Know, I think I saw this once, but do prefer the 2009 version. My eyes going funny today. Mad Matt Bar Humbug. So here we go. Well,
it is hilarious that the one to beat is the Muppets version.
The Muppets one, exactly. The Muppets one's tremendous, but as a sensible version. Oh, the Henry Winkler version, Sharon. Yes. Mad Matt has a vague recollection. Well, let's do a countdown and let's get into it. So here we go.
I have to admit, I think the earliest version of A Christmas Carol that I saw that wasn't on stage or in pantomime might have been the Beavis and Butthead Christmas special, where they did A Christmas Carol. And every single time I think of the characters' names, I always think of that Beavis and Butthead episode, which opens with a pornographic version of A Christmas Carol. And the characters' names are like Bob Scratchit and things like that, which just...
So, Dom, what do you think of the opening shot and the tone and the aesthetic of this film so far?
It reminds me of Scrooged, like the show they're trying to produce.
Yes.
But it's
Oh,
glorious.
Blackadder's Christmas Carol's very good.
Oh yeah, Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
Oh, and then the score wells up.
You gotta remember, this is a Christmas movie. Of course it is. It's a TV movie, which is
It is, but as a
wild.
TV movie, this knocks it out the park.
You can tell by the aspect ratio for sure.
You can, because it's 4:3, but...
Look at the cast that we have here.
Yes, I know, it's a TV movie. I mean, we've got David Warner as well, Michael Goff. This, though, is a... I'm sure this is what a Victorian Christmas looked like in the most part, but this is very much a Christmas card Christmas we're seeing here.
For sure, yeah. This isn't... Where's
welcome, Jesse Perez. Great to see you again. I haven't seen you for a while, my friend. Please join. As you can see, the time located. Dom, there we go, up there. If you want to join in. Yeah, exactly, Lizard Man. Does any setting speak Christmas better than Victorian London in the winter? Something about the... it feels right, yeah. Edward That Print. So it's got George C. Scott. It gets 6 points by default. Yeah, George C. Scott is tremendous in this. And I don't know which... He's just doing his accent. He's just doing... I think he's doing his American accent in this, but I don't care.
Has anyone read the book?
No, I've never read the book. Oh, welcome, Gary. The One Day in England When It Snows. No, hell if I know, he isn't related to Richard Donner. That's right, with your meticulously prepared poultry.
Yes. Oh, quite a few folks have read the book. Good. I'm glad. Dickens is surprisingly easy to read, given how old Dickens' work is. There he is. Look at him. Like he was born to play the role.
Oh, he's incredible in this.
I have to admit, it's weird seeing David Warner not be
a bad guy.
Overly villainous. Yeah.
Yes. From saying, just finished the Ghost of Christmas Present chapter in the book I started reading this month for the first time since I've experienced it in every other medium minus Rule 34. It's about time.
It's a good book. It holds up pretty well.
Yeah. Neil Whaley saying, David Warner, very versatile actor, played every type of actor under the sun. Very true.
Oh, yeah. Defined range, just point towards David Warner's career.
Oh, an incredible actor here. Absolutely incredible actor. Roger Rees.
Good old Bob Scratchit.
Yeah. Sadly, all three of these greats are no longer with us.
I think someone called me the Dom Bug earlier. I am the furthest thing from a humbug. I love the holiday season. It's grand. And someone mentioned that this is a Canadian sweater. I'll have you know it's not Canadian. It's about 3 miles south of the Canadian border. Twin Peaks. Also, way too big for me now. I apparently have lost quite a bit of weight.
Ah, childhood. Once your child starts eating and you start having inappropriate things in the house, Dom, the weight will pile on nicely.
I'm sure.
Here, Daddy. Eat this with me.
Oh no. No, Calbot. Why? I warned you of it. I didn't ask you to watch Elves. Temp in Vegas. It's slightly chillier. I believe we're at 56 degrees in Freedom Units. Yeah, I'm shedding the pregnancy weight. Well, actually, yeah, the American audience might have a hard time understanding so much Britishness in a film. Amy Wilder is saying that she can't find the remote TV. If one can read aloud the dialogue, that would be great. All right, time to
I'm not acting the film out.
parody of A Christmas Carol. All right, I'll be Tiny Tim. You can be every other character, Andrew. So, who was the Ebenezer Scrooge in your household, in your in your youth, Andrew?
Oh, in my youth, the Ebenezer Scrooge. I would say it was probably my mother's mother. She was an evil woman.
I can understand that. I can vibe with that.
Evil woman. My mother's father died before I was born, but my father's father and my father's mother was a very generous, jolly, round-faced lady. My father's father was I think I said before, he went to war. He was a Normandy D-Day veteran, came back a broken man. But he was one of them people you'd see, he was a very, very bitter, withdrawn man who had a heart of gold.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't want the praise for doing nice things.
So he was the shoveling character in another Christmas classic movie, Home Alone.
Yes.
Looked upon with fear.
Yeah.
Has a heart of gold.
Yes. Oh dear, what I was saying, my mother's mum was also the Scrooge too.
So would you say this is the definitive version?
Of the live-action, non-Muppet versions, yes. I'm also saying I'm shocked this didn't get a 40th anniversary 4K release this year. The only question is, though, was it... Well, it looks like it was shot on film, so there is a possibility for a 4K.
Yeah, it looks good. The aspect ratio, though, is...
Yeah. You got to remember, it would have been... It was shot for TV, though, wasn't it? Oh, and I think they actually found an orphan with some awful disease to play Tiny Tim in this. Because I've never seen a child look so ill in real life.
This is the most Victorian-looking child I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Oh wow, Tiny Tim, you need to consume a morsel of food, my son. You look painful.
When you see him later on as well, he genuinely looks like he's dying.
He's got the consumption.
Yeah.
See, they don't infect kids with polio these days anymore for movies.
Not for acting purposes, no.
Emma the Black Prince, damn street urchins.
Yep, that's right.
James Helly is pointing out a very good point. TV of this era in the US was shot on film but edited on video, so HD upgrades would be problematic. However, I know several HD Blu-rays on Vinegar Syndrome and things like that were filmed on like Betamax tapes somehow have been digitally upgraded to 4K. It's possible, but there's so many versions of A Christmas Carol out there that it's so easy to get lost amongst the ocean of content.
Oh, definitely. I just think this is... But bear in mind, George C. Scott made this just before he made the... He made this just before the Patton TV movie. Well, actually, he made A Christmas Carol, then he made a Mussolini biopic, and then he also made the Patton biopic.
He was working for a few years straight, wasn't he? Just being crotchety grumps.
Yeah.
It is incredible how we're still milking this story to this day. We are still
It's a
making.
tremendous story.
It is. It's a classic tale. It's existed this long for a reason. It's solid, solid material.
Oh, there is a widescreen version of this in existence.
Oh, there we go.
When it had a theatrical release, it was in 1851.
I didn't know it had a theatrical release.
It did, a very small theatrical release in some regions. I would watch this at the cinema.
I would too. Alfred Pennyworth, yes. I watched Batman Returns like 2 or 3 nights ago.
Oh dear.
It's fine.
No, I'm talking about this conversation that's going on screen at the moment. Even today, this is staggeringly relevant. Don't help the needy. We've got facilities to deal with them. Let's put them into...
Yeah. But this was very prominent in all of Dickens' writing, the notion of the rich not giving a toss about the working class. Do you know how most of Dickens' work was received back in his day? It wasn't book form, even though he produced many...
It was plays, wasn't it? One-man shows and plays.
No, it was just audiobooks, essentially. Like Dickens and several others would get the latest issue of his novel and read it to crowds. Of all the Batman movies to watch, Dom, why Batman Returns? It's a Christmas movie, that's why.
Oh, Tiny Tim's still there waiting for his dad.
At least he doesn't look...
Oh no, there's scenes
very
later
cold.
On. Yeah, he looks worse in some scenes. I think they left the child out there in the cold for days.
You know, gotta be authentic.
Oh, Dom, I think you should have a top hat and a scarf.
I do too. I think I should sport a top hat and a scarf. I'd look weird in Vegas, though.
He wants to watch the children play because he can't.
Dickens was notoriously vile to his street urchin characters. They'd always tend to die painfully in the cold and snow and of just exposure.
God, but these songs this band are singing are very pertinent to Scrooge himself.
Oh, yeah. Ah, yes. Ice skating, well, not ice skating, ice slipping on black ice there. Oh, classic Birmingham sport, still present to this day.
I'm getting stronger every day.
I hope the consumption don't get me, Dad.
Did they ever actually say what illness Tiny Tim was supposed to have?
I think he has polio. His bones don't work right. He's that is the most brummy description of polio I could have mustered. His bones don't work
right. Or it's southern. My bones don't work right.
I got a touch at the consumption. He has all of them, says Calvert. All of the problems.
Oh, I'm going to look at something else. What? Oh, no.
My bones.
Oh, no, I'm reading here. Oh, he did not specify the illness. He probably had either
rickets.
One or... No, he may have had one of several things. Rickets. Tuberculosis. A.k.a. consumption. Renal tubular acidosis, affecting the ability for his kidneys to regulate acid levels in the blood. Potentially explaining Tim's frailty and deformities. Cerebral palsy, in a mild form. And polio.
CP. Should say that. Yeah,
possibly
polio,
one or a combination. It is widely believed that he had. What a shot! Look at that.
Some of the orchestrated shots here have been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Just sprinkle in some Lou Gehrig's disease in there as well.
Talbot saying, and an outbreak of psoriasis, lack of taste, and an athlete's foot.
Yeah, just for good measure.
Lack of appetite.
Trench
athlete's
foot.
Yeah. Frank Finley as Marley. I mean, there's some you could almost say that A Christmas Carol in many ways is a horror film.
Well, this was his foray into horror, I believe, because he didn't do many spooky stuff until this.
Yeah.
Well, the supernatural elements. Geez, actually, I'm trying to think of any other Charles Dickens book that has supernatural elements. Overt supernatural elements, anyway. Lighting a candle to light your path. I remember those days. Not too long ago for me, like 20 years ago.
I thought you could say power cuts in Vegas.
Oh no, we have our phones these days. Although I did have a power cut in Birmingham once.
Yeah, but you can do
when I was a
this.
kid.
Have you seen this? iPhones can do this now. Androids have been able to do it for a while. Watch this. For the Harry Potter fans.
Oh yes.
Lumos.
Lumos Maximus or whatever it is.
Nox.
I actually thought she was clever, just using the most mild Latin ever for her spells.
Yes. Yes, exactly, Lizman. Scrooge liked the dark. Darkness was cheap.
It's a line from the book.
It is.
God, the way he walks as well. He's got such humbug about him.
It's the thing that gets me is we know a lot of stuff happened to Scrooge when he was young about the stuff with Belle, etc. So we can see he's very kind of security consciously paranoid. He doesn't pay for cleaning stuff, even though he can afford it, 'cause his house is quite dirty and it's shabby. He's a miser, but he has a very substantial house.
He does. Oh, I love it. A Christmas gruel.
Oh, Christmas gruel. Yes. See, enjoying the moment. No phone, no television.
Just spooky ghosts.
Just a man in his bowl of Christmas mush.
Oh, he's eating soup like a savage as well.
Yeah. So, guys, give me some of your favourite versions of A Christmas Carol apart from this, and Muppets, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Your worst version of A Christmas Carol.
Apart from pantomime version.
Yes. Gary, A Christmas Life Force.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Oh, exactly, Lizardman. That's so on. You're on fire tonight, my friend. This is Scrooge's issue. He has all of the money he could ever want, and he's still not happy. He's unhappy and willing to remain so because he's just so miserable. James Haley says the 2004 Kelsey Grammer one is bad.
I can imagine, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Amy's saying that bowl of grub is the equivalent of heating up a sad TV dinner. Yep, cobwebs on his door, no one's ever come. Oh wow, apparently the Guy Pearce FX version, hands down, is terrible. Oh, Jim Carrey's one is spot on, but the CGI is unnerving. James, I don't know if you'll remember this, and I think Don might not remember it. James, how does it compare to the, I think it was early 2000s, maybe 2001, the Ross Kemp Christmas Carol? Any British people? But James might know this one.
Ross Kemp? Was he Scrooge?
He played Eddie Scrooge. He was a loan shark on a council estate.
Back off, Marley. You ain't getting my hunger.
It's very similar to that.
That sounds amazing. Why aren't we watching that version?
Oh, okay. More from say, yeah, the Ross Kemp version's the worst. The way you say, don't forget this has been taken on the real Ghostbusters. James doesn't watch Ross Kemp unless it's Ultimate Force.
Get out my bar, Marley. You've been barred from here. Get out, you slacker. Imagining Tiny Tim as some 6-foot-tall Goliath bouncer bloke.
I love the fact in this, though, it's shown Marley is basically being tortured.
Oh yeah, that's Marley's fate. He died a bitter man, much like Scrooge is in this current state, and he's the harbinger of what's to come.
Yes.
So weirdly, he has sympathy for Scrooge in a time where no one else really does.
Okay, what about that awful, awful Christmas Carol animated film that came out in the early 2000s with the Kate Winslet song?
Oh. Beavis and Butthead one is still clearly up there, just below Muppets. I love how his method of haunting is just
Terrifying.
chains and
It's still pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah, it is. It's unnerving as hell. Like the noise is unsettling.
Oh dear, I know what that's like, Amy. You're saying those chains sound exactly like my arthritis as I look under this sofa for the dang remote. Yeah, exactly, Halif, I know. And that's what's good about this. This is very much like a staged production. We are going scene to scene, and it's... Yes. Frank Finlay, who won a role in Life Force.
Yeah, Lizardman's pointing out that they were friends in life. That's one of the famous lines. In life, I was your partner. But it's interesting because they're both kind of greedy and no honor amongst thieves kind of situation. You don't expect friendship to overwhelm that greed.
Immortal was saying the Kate Winslet one shocked him that the Kate Winslet Simon Callow one failed. Yeah, it was a pretty poor version, unfortunately. It's a shame because Simon Callow is normally very good, as you're saying, with his Shakespeare. Not Shakespeare, the bloody Charles Dickens. Sorry. Do you get the feeling the reason Marley isn't blinking at all when we see him now is also because those contact lenses maybe were excruciating to wear?
Oh,
that caused his
absolutely.
eyes to be so
Made of
cloudy
glass.
milky. Yeah.
Who's your favourite ghost of Christmas?
Christmas present. In this one, Christmas present is amazing.
I've always been a fan of the Future one. Like in every instance, Future's always my fave. Present always bored me. Yeah, the depressing one.
In this one, the Ghost of Christmas Present is Edward Woodward, and he's huge in it. As in, you'll see, he's just so. Oh, Miss Swift likes Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol.
I was in the Three Musketeers, you know.
Remember the Solkine stifters on payments. Have your agent look into that. Oh God, yeah. Can you imagine a horror version? It's directed by Stanley Kubrick or Robert Eggers.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I wonder if maybe that's what I'd like to see. A proper classic but horror take on this. No, it's over. Hell if I know. The time this always confused me. No, takes place over the same night.
Yeah.
He's got 3 weeks on one night because at the end he says they all came to me in one night. The day's not over. They can do anything. Also, his exchange with Bob was that you want tomorrow off.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Christmas Eve night. Oh, I quite like Mickey's Christmas Carol. It's quite a nice kids' version. I have fond memories of watching that when I was about 7 on TV. 1 o'clock in the morning. It could just be he's got like he's just it could just be he's got like the start of the flu and he's having those awful fever dreams you get.
Ah, yes.
Good point, Neil. I've long wondered if the only reason Scrooge is offered redemption is because he has wealth to help others. Would a poor person receive the same treatment? Well, you'd hope that a poor person who has less or nothing in his life would not be as bitter. But also, it's the lesson, isn't it, Neil? The moral is that if you have the ability to help others in life and be a kind person or a good person, especially if you have more than others, even if it doesn't necessarily cost you financially more, you should do it. And that's the ultimate lesson.
We've been told that story for, I think as Sharon pointed out, like 150 years. And most people still haven't learnt it.
Yes.
Aren't we a great species?
Cyndi Lauper, no. It's not Cyndi Lauper. That's Susanna York. No, it's not Susanna York. That is hang on. That is Angela Pleasance, daughter of Donald Pleasance.
I think Donald Pleasance would have been a good Scrooge.
Donald Pleasance could have been an excellent Scrooge. I don't know with the squinty eye if that kind of work.
I shot that ghost of Christmas future 7 times.
Hey, Christmas Halloween, says Gary. Oh, Johnny Devick saying Stallone as Scrooge, directed by Tarantino, please. Spirits just want to have fun, says Mad Matt. Oh, this is so Christmas card, isn't it?
Yeah, I've purchased Christmas cards that look like this. Man, I'd love to revisit some Christmases of yesteryear.
Yes.
I think I need to get rich and be very mean to people and not let a guy go home to his son on Christmas Day just so I get haunted by...
You go home to what may be his son's only Christmas.
Yeah. Inject him with a combination drug of polio, rickets, tuberculosis, cerebral palsy.
Basically,
genetically
plague.
Engineer. Yeah, yes. Plague child.
I'll tell you what you could do, Dom. How about you pay someone to go back in time, bring back a sample of Black Death to inject this tiny Tim with?
There you go. Oh, I don't need to go back in time. It's all is around the Black Death. It just need to find some.
And the 40 Thieves?
Yes.
Would this be a pop culture reference for when this was written?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Dickens did a lot of that. He was always quoting other literary work.
Robinson Crusoe was 1719. Oh, so it was already 130 years old, nearly, the book was.
Gary's saying, when is Carol going to appear? See, we've had Christmas, where's Carol?
Well, that's called Immortalimus. I don't know that one. Yeah, that is exactly right, Miss Swift. That's Turlough from Doctor Who. He was that actor playing the young Ebenezer Scrooge, played Turlough, a companion the Doctor had for a brief while. Mark Strickson, he's played by. Turlough was a fifth Doctor, and I'm not sure he's fourth as well. He was sent by someone called the Black Guardian to basically kill the Doctor. He was an alien in a British schoolboy uniform. Dom, do not treat your son like this.
I was taking notes. I'm like, okay, yeah, belittle. Yep.
That's Nigel Davenport.
Got a 1,000-yard stare.
A-list. Yep, Joanne Wiley before she became a Kilmer. And then stopped being a Kilmer. Dominic, do not treat your son this way. Do not say, into the carriage, boy.
Look at that shot.
Yes.
You ever ridden horse and carriage?
Yeah, once, I think. Once or twice. Have you?
I have. Again, near me where I grew up, there was a museum, a living museum called Black Country Museum.
Yes.
And they did horse and carriage rides all the time.
Yes.
So what would be some of your memories of Christmas past that the ghost would haunt you with, Andrew?
What, good memories or bad memories?
I believe they are supposed to be good memories.
Good
to
memories.
say, look, people
Some
can
of the
be
childhood,
good
like when I
and
got
should
my first computer, that was awesome. And I just remember I remember it seeming the school holidays lasted forever instead of 2 weeks like we normally get in the UK. I remember. What do I remember? I have a really strong memory of Christmas Eve one year. I mean, Christmas Eve being very exciting, and I remember one year Flash Gordon had its UK TV premiere.
Brilliant.
Yeah. What about yourself, Dom?
The Christmas that I got my Sega Dreamcast was a glorious moment.
By then I was an adult, Dom. Timothy Bateson as Mr. Fezziwig. Oh wow! He was the voice of Creature and the Worm, Creature in the Harry Potter films, and also the voice of the Worm in the Labyrinth film.
Oh.
Miss Swift, yes, the year you got your Super Nintendo.
I was lucky enough to be born into a household that already had a Super Nintendo. My sister's Super Nintendo. And the NES. Good God, I remember playing Castlevania on that thing.
Well, Multimus is saying, from what I've read of the book so far, if an exact adaptation was done 100% faithfully, it would be a very short film, because I recall extra scenes are added over the years.
Yeah, there's a lot of fluff. I think someone pointed it out earlier. Dickens was paid by the word, and because he was an editor of newspapers and such at the time as well, he knew how to really ramble on. And he'd release books in chapters, because that's just how publication worked back then.
Well, Gary's saying, Phoebe Cates had a bad Christmas once in Gremlins.
Oh, yes. Christmas Day is the worst day of my life. I still need to know what the Lincoln Day story is from Gremlins 2. I have to know.
And on President's Day, yeah. Ms. Swift saying, later my mom and my aunt played it too, with my grandma looking on. That's a fantastic memory.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Fezziwig's a great guy.
With a name like Fezziwig, how could you not be?
I know,
Again,
what a great guy.
It's a Dickensism, having names that are essentially emblematic of your personality trait. For example, in Hard Times, his novel about school life, there is a teacher called Mr. Machokumchild. And can you imagine if he was a nice guy or not?
Oh. What's nice is we're seeing... What's interesting as well, though, is here we're seeing a lot of the stuff of Ebenezer looking back and looking on other things. It's him reacting to his life, and we're not seeing him, the same actor, being a young person. You know, it's not him portraying the younger version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's even disassociating himself. He's saying, oh, he gave.
Yeah, he's saying he gave small things. He was a bit silly, he was fun, he put a bit of money out, got them some... Basically, got them to have a nice, fun time, and they loved him for it. And it's the whole thing is, yes, he was Fozziwig in Muppet Christmas Carol, but the whole point is that sometimes a little thing can mean a lot. A little,
Absolutely.
what may seem a little thing to you, because obviously Fezziwig was a reasonably wealthy man. It was very little thing to him. However, that little thing meant everything to the others with less. Yeah, Dom, you need sort of a cloak, a top hat and a cane to go strolling around Vegas in.
I agree, yeah. People will think I'm some weird performer.
But you wouldn't be the strangest person or the first person seen in Vegas to be doing that.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe there's been like a plague doctor who's gone around dressed up that way.
Or you can wear a plague doctor mask as well.
Yes.
To go shopping in Walmart. Plague doctor mask, your cloak, your cane, and your top hat.
Please. I'm Target people. I'm not a Walmart person. I don't go in there with the dregs.
Do you know that even with my trips to Florida now, we try to avoid Walmart at all cost? I have learned.
You should.
To the point of we're not fine. We're not rich, but we're not. But we don't have to shop in Walmart. If you know,
choose to.
we don't have to shop in Walmart. And I don't think the worst of anyone who, their prices are very competitive. However, when I've done a 9-hour flight, I can't deal with going to Walmart and, quite frankly, deal with Walmart bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Johnny Devike, CD32, also a Dracula crossover with A Christmas Carol.
Ebenezer versus the Wolfman.
Yes.
Abbott and Costello meet Ebenezer Scrooge.
Universal. Where was Scrooge in your dark universe?
a dark retelling of Ebenezer Scrooge. An erotic thriller for the modern age. So Bob Scratchit could make his return. Well, Dracula's all about vengeance and being bitter.
Look, he lent out the money without a consumer credit license. You see, that's illegal these days.
There you go. I would love some kind of legal official to go through Dickens' work and say, like, well, you see, bit of a dreamer was old Chucky Dix, but not exactly legal. Can't be doing that kind of nonsense these days.
Oh, this is the worst bit. This is the Dickensian version of looking at that ex who got away on Facebook 20 years later.
Dickens loved that. Like, in all of his books, there's always someone who got away from the miserable bugger and had the best life
This is
ever.
literally going through your ex's Facebook profile 20 years later after you're regretting breaking up with them, kind of thing.
Who's the handsome, well-endowed, rich, successful, debonair chap that she got with?
Yes.
And his 75 kids that they managed to have together. See, that's so depressing. That was also me in the UK. I had to work every bloody Christmas.
Yes.
It sucked. Sick people, why do you have to exist on Christmas? Can't you be well for a day?
Sorry. Wow. The actor who's playing her husband is a British actor called Peter Setterlin, and he was the speechwriter and director and gave speech instruction to Princess Diana.
Oh!
Oh, that's a nice scene where you're seeing him.
Oh, absolutely, just aggressively fighting the past.
Yes.
And it's emblematic of how someone in this mindset would look at the past. At first, it's filled with joy and, the good days. And it slowly gets throttled by bitterness, jealousy, rage.
Yes. So we've got one of the chats saying, "I need to travel back in time, Mad Max, saying, and snatch that X-Men comic book my younger self traded away." I'm gonna see if I can find something that happened to me a while ago. Let's have a look.
I had my Pokemon cards stolen while I was in class at school.
Oh dear.
And because of that, we weren't allowed Pokemon cards anymore at school. I was the reason why West Heath School wasn't allowed Pokemon cards. Because someone nicked them from me. And then I got the blame. It's like, what? You're not going to help me find them? I want to search. I want to search the backpacks of all these kids. But apparently, no.
Right.
Scrooge joins the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Pogs.
Yeah.
I had the Star Wars Pogs.
I'm going to place something in the chat for them to read. An email I had in 2012.
Oh no.
An offer I had in 2012.
Oh no. Oh. Oh.
They're worth
600.
76. They're worth, let's just put it in dollars, why not? To make it easier for the Americans. They're worth $95,600 each now.
Good
This is such a great
God,
look.
Edward. God, how do you make George C. Scott seem small by comparison, hey?
I know, but Edward Woodward wasn't that tall a man, was he?
No, but like his
Oh,
presence, his booming voice should have
definitely.
been Brian Blessed. Oh.
But he's got that look of the Santa of the 1800s with the green and the
Yeah.
torch.
I think he had a cornucopia as well that
Yes,
like,
Sharon, I know.
produced
Thank you. That's
food.
$58 million worth of bitcoins. Yes, I could have had.
Dan Haggerty.
Edward Woodward, great actor.
If it was Dan Haggerty, he'd be just drunk. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. What are these elf things?
Yeah, Edward Woodward was 5'9".
Oh, come off it. That's my height. How in tarnation could he look so
5'9".
tall? He's walking on stilts. I mean, he definitely
Must
is.
be. I love this. I like to think he's sat on the shoulders of somebody there.
Yeah. Just a child. Just.
And he is, Mad Matt, exactly. He's a pre-Coca-Cola Santa.
Yeah. Oh, it's like the Birmingham Christmas markets. Your sheep right
What,
next
with the
to
geese being strangled?
fish. Yeah. I like how
And the
this
lack
is
of
meant
hygiene,
to be.
yes.
Yeah.
My
This is meant
God,
to
that
be like.
chest is hairy. No wonder he's not cold.
He's got a sweater on underneath that. Yeah.
He's a great Ghost of Christmas present, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Johnny Devick, to me, my Hawkmen. But you are right. Brian Blessed would have been a tremendous Ghost of Christmas past.
Oh yeah. Christmas present.
Christmas present, sorry. And there's Susanna York. Their house isn't actually, by modern standards, that's actually quite a decent sized house the Cratchits have. But
oh yeah, in London. Oh yeah.
Yeah, in London that'd be.
It costs about as much as that Bitcoin off them.
Yeah. However, there's immediate a feeling of kind of love and happiness in that house.
Yeah.
It's simple, but
it's warm. It's decorated. Everyone's smiling.
It's full of life, and they love each other.
Is. And the fact that we're looking at it during the daytime as opposed to Ebenezer's time at night, just looking dark and grim, depressing. Oh, good God. Yeah, Tiny Tim.
In between sets, they're keeping him in a fridge.
I was going to say, a kid's looking too lively. Quick, give him another shot of polio. You mean the vaccine, sir? Nah. Give him the disease.
Give him polio. Can you get him rabies by tomorrow? You know.
Might give him some pep. He needs a downer disease.
Sharon's saying they don't have much, but they have love, like a Hallmark card.
He has family. Why isn't he with his family half the time? Why is he out in the cold waiting for Dad? Scurvy! Just give him a touch of scurvy as well. Sir, he's reaching for that lemon. Stop him. Keep him on the scurvy. Producers are just keeping citrus fruits away from Tiny Tim.
Well, I do remember what you said, Bob. If Tim's no better, here's Christmas dinner next year.
Oh no, he's too diseased to eat. We'll have to put him down like a mad dog. Ooh.
Oh.
Coming of a working age, 12.
Mm.
All right, I'm confused by old coins. What the hell is a shilling? Like, I'm trying to think what it could possibly be.
I think a shilling was 5 pence.
All right, and a threepenny pence piece is
Was
what, a
3
third
pence.
of a penny?
No, a shilling, sorry, was 12 pence. 1/20th of a pound, which would be 5 pence in modern currency.
Why would you quantify that? A 12th? Why?
Yeah, but remember, it was pre-decimalisation and all currency was very confusing. Let's have a look.
Tuppence is tuppence.
That would be
for an
the...
army. Pieces
Was it
of
1
egg.
shilling and 6 pence, was it?
Yes.
Okay, so...
How much is that in Bitcoin, please?
No, I don't know that. Don't. Please, stop it. I could have been so wealthy, couldn't I? Right, 1843.
Maybe a little cholera. Note to the craft services, says Mad Matt, do not feed the Tiny Tim actor.
No.
Those potatoes look so depressing.
Oh, it would be it would be about £130 a week in equivalent money.
For a 12-year-old, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad. So about $250 a week. Exactly, Modernist. Imagine bringing these people to our town and showing them a £5 coffee. Imagine they'd cry, I could buy a 1-bedroom house for that, which 12 of us can live in.
Tiny Tim's eyes seem to... He might have rabies now. They're plumping him up.
Tiny Tim. I see more food available. Look at the little kind of smile he has about it, as if to say, no. But that is... But still, those words are still prevalent to today.
Yes.
Amy wants to give an IV infusion. Amy, you can't euthanize Tiny Tim. That's not allowed. You can't give him like a massive dose of like sedative to make his heart stop and go to sleep. But then again, I don't know. Maybe.
Your blood is too rich with plasma and vitamins. Tiny Tim would simply expire. Yeah, Tiny Tim isn't used to such luxury. I'm confused by this Christmas pudding.
Why?
It looks drier than like solid concrete.
But they would have maybe been lacking some of the stuff like the brandy to go into it. Maybe some of the butters and things. Some of the more luxurious items. Elizabeth's saying, why did the British create Christmas pudding? Especially gross meat. There's no meat in Christmas pudding at all, Lizard Man.
Nah, it's like chocolate cakey, fruit.
It's not burnt fruit. It's Yeah,
what the hell is that?
It's flour and dried fruit and suet and fat, basically.
Not enough hoof.
And what they do is it's usually fermented for a period of time.
I'm picturing someone with like a cow's hoof and like a cheese grater and a shaving hoof on top of it.
Ed would say, "Now eat the mistletoe." Oh.
I've been called worse by better.
I could go and get a Christmas pudding from downstairs if you really wanted one. I could get one and eat it now if you really want.
Consume a Christmas pudding live.
John Derrick saying the good news for Tim was at this time the factories in Britain preferred unskilled child labour. Yeah, to pull the bobbins through the through the mechanical looms in the textile mills. Is Christmas pudding really cake-like? It is kind of. It's basically like a fruitcake, like a very dense fruitcake.
Yeah. The most depressing Christmas I've ever had was actually here in the States. I was over here with my stepdad and my brother, just because, like, we were just around at the time, and we had Christmas Day at a Denny's.
Oh,
which
God.
was sad. It was very popular. There were so many people there. I was surprised. It had an air of cheer about the place, but it was my first Christmas away from my mum.
Did they have a grand sandwich available?
I don't think that was a grand sandwich. It was a very Christmas-themed menu.
Oh.
And the food was mediocre Denny's food, yeah. And then after the meal was consumed, the waiter came over and he said, "Did you leave room for dessert? Would you like any dessert?" And I was like, sure. And I looked at the dessert menu and I was like, "Can I get the sticky toffee pudding?" He's like, "Oh no, we only have the Christmas-themed desserts today." I was like, "Okay, I'll have that then." And he didn't bat an eyelid. He just looked at me and went, "We're all out of Christmas desserts, my boy." And I was like, "Why did you come over and ask then? If you don't have dessert, why did you come over, tease me with dessert, and then tell me there's nothing and tell me to fuck off?" Asshole.
These are Victorian hipsters, basically, Fred is.
They are, absolutely. What is that guy looking at behind? He wasn't looking at the dame, the juicy dame in the seat there. He was looking behind her. Fine stitch work on this chair here. Fine stitch work.
The only thing I would like to see, and I don't know if there's an element of hypocrisy I'm seeing in this scene here, because we're seeing Fred is saying he has wealth and he does no good with it. And obviously Fred, yes, is hiring that, but he does have a maid. Does he know his maid's name? I would have liked to actually seen a scene here where Fred is like, "Go on, Molly, you finish today. You've done enough today." That poor maid, can you see her tending to their...
Oh, that implies that the rich even thought of the help as people back in those days.
Yeah, The Santa Claus was a great Christmas movie.
With the fascination of like Bridgerton-esque shows, like period pieces in the Victorian era at the moment, how in the hell has there not been a Bridgerton Christmas special?
That's a good point, but there has been a Bridgerton-themed event. I need to find it, and there's a videos on it on YouTube, and it was magnificent.
Oh, wait, is this similar to the Willy Wonka event that happened in Scotland?
Yes, in Detroit.
Oh yeah, Detroit, the culture hub of America.
Yeah, hang on. It was supposed to be The event in Detroit, Michigan on Sunday night invited fans to step into the enchanting world of the Regency era with sophistication, grace, and historical charm. When they got there, they found soggy noodles, chicken bones, melancholy decor, a single violin, and a pole dancer.
Wait, a pole dancer?
Yes.
Just like the Victorian era.
Yes. And the cooking was provided by the Jackson 5 Catering.
What?
Yeah, Sharon, pole dancer, you say? I want to be funny. They're bloody Victorian hipsters, aren't they? In love with their own farts.
The games that these people would play, like I've experienced it in so many different, like Pride and Prejudice and like Bridgerton and loads of Charles Dickens stuff. It's always like crappy games that aren't fun for anyone.
No.
It's just they're so bored. There's nothing for them to do. They rhyme and make fun of each other when they can't, or they have weird, complicated rules like. I will speak only in iambic pentameter, and if you break the course of iambic pentameter, then you are it, and we lob sticky toffee pudding at you. And you don't get a sherry.
I need to tell you a Christmas story, actually. This was about 15 or so years ago. My wife, who I was dating at the time, was over the house, and my parents were there for Christmas. And one of the gifts she bought for Christmas Day for me was a game for my Xbox 360 for us all to play. And it was... And the idea was we all play a game together. And she pulled out a movie quiz game.
Oh, no.
Here, we can all play this. We'll enjoy this. Played it once.
Oh. Yeah. That's the equivalent of that episode of The Simpsons when Bart gets the Tim Putterman's putting game or whatever it was. The Death Battle 3 or...
No, it's more a case of no one wanted to play after one game.
Why would you?
Because they were all, oh, Andrew's got the answer again. Andrew's got the answer again.
Andrew won again.
Yay. Yes, I've got 3 points. Dad's got 6 points. And your mother's got 4 points. And you've got 87, Andrew. It was like that.
So it was a massacre.
Yeah. So, here we go.
The streets of Birmingham. I know them well.
Oh.
Look at all that lumber. God, they're doing well for themselves. Lumber and potatoes? They're living the high life, they are. When I was a kid, I didn't have lumber and potatoes. Nah. I just had me Sega Dreamcast, me. Couldn't cook on that thing. Potato on a stick. Oh, luxury. Absolute luxury. Raw potato on a stick. You got a fire in front of you, you gorm. Why don't you cook it?
You feel for that character, though, where he feels he's not got it, especially back then, where he's unable to provide for his family, so he feels he's got no worth. Oh, so relevant to today.
I'll pay with my taxes? Isn't that good enough?
I pay with my taxes. These people can be horsewhipped through the streets.
I've experienced that in real time when I was in the NHS, and some guy screamed at me and said, I pay your wage, mate. You do as I say. I'm like, piss off. Absolute wank stain of a human. Get out of here. You've got a cold. The tears that are welling up in his chinless face as well. Seriously, how does a man not have a chin? He's immune to uppercuts.
I really feel for that guy though. There,
Yeah.
his lack of worth. Yeah, exactly, Miss Swift. This version was the first time we ever seen this portion of the story. Yeah, now the hipsters would be eating their potatoes on a stick.
It's like...
Oh, it's the alternates for Tiny Tim.
It's the kids that didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah.
That they lost their tongues to the plague, so they couldn't speak the lines. It's his stunt doubles. And Morthoremus is correct. When the Equalizer visits you and has something to say, you listen.
Yeah. And again, this is true. People who spout this kind of stuff don't like using their words against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't wish to see either. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
What if Edward Woodward is actually being carried around on the shoulders of those two children?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's so tall. Yeah. Exactly, Sharon, that's true. That is a desperate man not being able to provide for his family.
You can't leave me here in Birmingham. I might get stabbed.
Be reasonable, Jor-El. Mm-hmm. This is almost begging for forgiveness, isn't it? Saying, we'll find a middle ground.
Trying to justify his actions as well.
But he's only doing it now out of trying to save himself.
Absolutely. The problem with suffering is that it's really difficult to quantify suffering for another, because if you have had something, and the old adage, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." Yes, it's always better to have something than to not have something, apart from polio.
And rickets.
And rickets. But you can't...
Sorry, I just got to say, beautiful shot.
Absolutely. Like, the multitude of effects that are going in here to this TV production that make it so cinematic. It's glorious.
Or scurvy and TB, Miss Swift, yeah.
Yeah. It's just your local kebab slinger over in Birmingham.
Come into my store, get your doner meat. Would you like all of the sauces?
No, sauce boss.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lizard man, you could at least give them a potato on a stick, Mr. Ghost. The kids. Yeah, not so sarcastic are you now, Scrooge? Oh, that's great. It's kind of gliding towards him. I know it's a strange thing to say, but that is some of the best kind of ground fog smoke work I think I've ever seen in film.
I know it. It looks almost liquid. It's so thick
Mm.
and unmoving.
And the soundtrack to this film is great.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. Haunting, isn't it? Having deafening whispers.
But he can't hear them.
No.
He just hears whispering.
What happened to his money?
I'll go if there's food.
Yeah, but whoever this... Oh, that's a lovely transition shot of the lighting there.
Absolutely. Very theatre trick.
Yeah.
Corn again. Oh no, it was oranges, wasn't it? For
Yeah.
man, this soundtrack is grand.
It is. It's great.
I do love how most of the shots of the Spectre is purely shadow. Seeing his shadow cast against things just makes him more ethereal than the others.
Well, this is something very nice we're about to see in a minute. So, when she appears, I'll point her out.
Back to Birmingham, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
The madhouses.
So, we're about to see a character here when she appears.
Give us a swig, Charlie.
Go in.
It's a Greg's. Go on, you'll like the Cornish pest. He's in there.
So, Mrs. Dilber is a British classic actress called Liz Smith. She was in a lot of things. Okay. She also played Mrs. Dilber in the 1999 Patrick Stewart version of A Christmas Carol, another TV movie, 15 years later. And she was also in the Ross Kemp version of A Christmas Carol.
As Mrs. Dilber?
Of a very similar character to Mrs. Dilber.
How do you get typecast as Mrs. Dilber? She had one hell of a contract.
Yes. She is Mrs. Dilber forevermore.
This place is a trendy pub now in in London, or a cafe full of hipster
look at him.
baristas.
You've stolen my things.
My things.
Exactly, Sharon. No matter how much stuff we all have, it gets left when we die.
Now, people tend to remember tyrants and dictators far more so than kind people. For the wrong reasons. Although it is an important lesson, never redo the mistakes of the past, as
I'm about to say
often as it
another great bit of
happens.
trivia here, guys. So,
This is
Joe,
why you won the trivia contest.
no, Joe, the fence, who she's selling the stuff to, is an actor called Peter Woodthorpe, and he was the voice of Gollum in the Ralph Bakshi animated Lord of the Rings.
Oh, good old Ralph Bakshi.
Exactly. The chat is saying, when you die, that all that's left of you are the memories of the people you have of you. It's best to make them a good one. Exactly, Lizard Man. Yep. The Immortal Miss, I would like to think that people learn from the past, but they seem to be repeating it and getting dark inspiration from it.
Oh, I know, it's bloody tragic. So this is how Dickens was read, mostly in
Yeah.
common houses with someone who was literate would read to everyone else. What a bad day for rain indoors.
Yeah. Is someone cutting onions?
The fact that his own family referred
Yes,
to him
because
as
he wanted
Tiny
Tiny Tim not to evacuate himself on his shoulder.
Yeah, because he knew it was just a ticking time bomb.
Father
You were
loved him
fed last
so. We
week.
didn't. He did. He found it to be a curio.
P.T. Barnum wasn't around quite yet, so they couldn't flog him off to the.
That's right.
This child has more diseases than anyone in the past. How is he alive?
No, but honestly, you can see David Warner's. You can see Bob Cratchit's trying to put a brave face on it for the family.
Oh, I just really just take a turn with that one sentence. Just hurts,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. And the strange smell has gone from the house. Exactly, Sharon. Treasure every day you have with loved ones, or it may be their last.
If I know. I only have 7 of you now to carry on my name.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary, this is Jack the Ripper's prequel. It's his origin story.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mad Matt.
Are they hanging laundry up to dry there? What the hell is that? Or stockings, I suppose they're stockings.
Oh, it's probably laundry they're trying to dry in front of the fire, because that'd be the heating. They wouldn't have central heating, would they?
Nah.
And it's probably such a house that they wouldn't have multiple fireplaces in it.
No, absolutely not.
The lighting in this film is fantastic. The way it just changes so well.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if the cinematographer on this actually was a film cinematographer.
Or a theatre cinematographer.
Tony Imi was the cinematographer. Oh, I love him. He was the cinematographer on North Sea Hijack.
Oh, well, there you go.
We have seen the mastery of this man before.
So this is a 40-year-old movie now. And on this gravestone that we will be seeing, it has been standing here for 40 years in a cemetery in England. What's the church called again? St. Chad's?
St. Chad's, which is just brilliant. However, unfortunately, in November, of this year, some vandals have decided to damage the tombstone. It is now snapped in half.
Why?
If I had been in the area, genuinely, I probably would have stopped off to get a photo of it.
It's the same. Genuinely.
Yes.
Who vandalizes graveyards? Graveyards! It's the dead!
It is
Why?
a real graveyard. Yeah. Have people not learnt anything from the Poltergeist films?
Or any
sense of decency.
Any story. Yeah. If it's of, an individual that is not well beloved, sure, piss on the grave.
Yeah.
But Ebenezer Scrooge? Man's not even real. I love how the stone as well is very mundane.
What's quite interesting is most of Scrooge's lines for the last sort of third of the film here have basically been a monologue.
Absolutely, yeah. He's just monologuing.
Exactly. Sharon says, death can come for all of us. It's how we live that can help us and how we approach the end. Oh, hell if I know, is saying, I think it better for Scrooge to fall into a fiery pit before he wakes up. But this is very much, as you're saying, Don, this is like a stage play put to film, the way it's been presented.
Absolutely.
This is a slight difference in this, because it's missing, the way it's presented, it's missing a key scene, in a way. I think, if I'm remembering right on this version. Oh no, he's there. No, it is. It isn't. No, it's still got the key scene in. Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to remember this version how it ends.
Hell if I know.
It's only a model.
Yeah.
You there, boy? What day is it?
It's Tuesday. Piss off.
Have you seen? I know that it's not always very funny, but has anyone seen the SNL sketch with Martin Short and Steve Martin?
No.
Right. I would recommend anyone after this to watch it. Look up SNL Christmas Carol. It's a sketch with Martin Short and Steve Martin. I won't spoil it for you, but it is hysterically funny. Yeah, what is the year?
There he goes.
Immortal was saying, my brother and I have a theory it was all a stroke dream, which has altered Scrooge's personality.
He had a stroke in the night. Well, you're giddy because you moved more in 5 seconds than you have in 10 years. I'll tell you, there is nothing more pleasant than jolliness around the holiday season.
Yeah.
It's just pleasant how
What
people.
are threats of child abuse like from the butcher?
Oh yeah, that's more pleasant. To be fair, yeah, it's definitely better. Oh, if you're lying, mate, I'll box your ears off.
Here's a poulterer.
Oh man, we need more poulterers. I need my chicken delivered to us Uber drivers as well, the modern day poulterers.
Our turkey's being delivered tomorrow for Christmas.
There you go.
By
Poulterer, I
FedEx.
hope.
Generally, FedEx will be bringing my turkey. Yeah, more from its good old-fashioned Victorian family child abuse. You can see, look, he's wearing his festive red waistcoat. But now you're hearing the song, the next verse. It's quite good. This song that's been going through, the song is now more upbeat about this man. Each verse has previously been about Scrooge being downbeat.
It's incredible, isn't it, that a name has become synonymous with being grumpy. Like, if you are a Scrooge, you are this grumpy, frumpy.
Is it actually? Are there actually new people? I'm going to look on the UK.
Has anyone ever been called Ebenezer or Scrooge?
There are no people in the UK with the surname Scrooge. Oh, wow. There are 15 census records for people with the last name Scrooge.
Oh.
And there was a Scrooge living in Pennsylvania in 1920. They've made him like more ill, haven't they?
Yeah, he looks more ill. He's on death's door. The Ghost of Christmas Future looks better and has more meat on the bones.
What if the Ghost of Christmas Future shows... I mean, he's ill. The actor's definitely ill. What if, right, the future of Tiny Tim being dead still happens because of improperly refrigerated turkey?
Yeah. Yeah, he dies
And
from
Scrooge actually caused it by sending him the
salmonella.
turkey. Yeah. Campylobacter or Cryptosporidium or something.
You're still gonna die, Timmy.
Yeah, that's true. Then the whole family would die too, Sharon. Yes.
Now they've got the antibodies to fight off
Yeah.
your common
They got very ill,
garden
but they got
variety
better.
bacteria.
Tim and his suppressed immune system. Okay, fair word of warning: do not decorate your Christmas tree with real candles.
Absolutely not. Those things are flammable.
I would have liked to have seen Fred speak to the, like, thank you, Dolly.
Yeah, to be slightly pleasant to his staff.
What appears to be a 14-year-old girl who's... Yeah, Timmy can't process gluten, and the bread kills him. Oh, Mad Matt, that's dark. That's going to be a good twist rewrite. They're a family of vampires all living off the blood of Tim. Exactly, Mortimer's. Tiny Tim still died. What do you expect? It's the Victorian age and their medicine was terrible. They just put leeches on him.
They couldn't afford the leeches.
So they had to get garden slugs.
They ate him like a cabbage.
Ah, welcome, Onzi.
Oh, Miss Swift, it's like Groundhog Day.
You and
no
yours
matter
have a
what
very
he
Merry
does.
Christmas too, Onzi.
But she went to mother many children with a sexy lawyer from the upcountry. I don't know, Manchester or something. No one says hurrah anymore.
No.
I'd like to play one of your silly games where you have to rhyme things and drink sherry.
You like games, don't you? Would you like to play a game?
This one's called What is Wrong with Tiny Tim? I will list you off his numerous symptoms and you can try and diagnose him. The winner gets to do the autopsy to see who was right. Again, this looks like a Christmas card. This scene, the setting, the way it's shot.
Lizard Man's got a good point, being a bit more sensible here. I really like Scrooge reconnecting with his nephew. It shows his willingness to let go of his misery and his sister's death and embrace his family.
Break out the Nintendo Switch and play Mario Party, then it becomes a war.
You do know the punch is just Kool-Aid with Sprite.
Ooh, it's fancy then if you've got Sprite in there.
Is it true that Kool-Aid contains enough sugar to kill a diabetic man in like 5 milliliters?
Well, they do sugar-free Kool-Aid these days as well. But normally, yes. When a packet is opened in a 3-mile radius of me, I can feel it. My heart skips a beat.
You'd look like, if you drank some, you'd look like
Tim.
like a guy in a film where all his limbs just start dropping off. You'd feel like you're falling apart.
Absolutely, yeah.
Again, beautifully shot.
It is gorgeously shot. I would like to see the widescreen version.
I would. I would also wish that I could have a top hat so tall I would struggle to get into shallow doorways.
Yeah, you have to duck to get into doorways.
I kind of like this ending better than some of them have it, where Scrooge turns up with the turkey and it's all hugs and happy times. I kind of like this ending a bit more.
Where it appears to be the old Scrooge is back, but it's like, get home, you fool, it's Christmas Day! Bob Cratchit slips on the ice, running to work, breaks his neck, the end.
How about he slips and crushes Tiny Tim and himself?
He falls on Tiny Tim. He's carrying him and he just slips and falls on him. Bursts like a wet balloon. Where was this in my work? Where did my boss have a nice turn of a change of heart and doubled my salary? I'd accept a few lashings for that. Like, why the hell not? Hang on. I still have a boss to this day. Man, it'd be a shame if my boss doubled my salary.
My salary, yeah. I'd also enjoy that. We're saying we'll discuss it over a Christmas bowl. He actually means a bowl of, like, weed.
Yeah, Christmas joints.
They're just passing a bong back and forth.
But it's in, like, a corn cob pipe.
Yeah. And they've got giant bags of flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah. A full shilling.
I think I'd find it really uncomfortable now being Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, my boss is proper schizo. He just turns at a dime. I do like that painted backdrop.
Oh, he looked a bit better.
All he required was a bit of food. It's fine.
I don't know. There's something sinister about George C. Scott kissing a child in that way of... Considering the film he made before this was Firestarter.
Yeah.
Rainbird Scrooge. So there we go. And that was the 1984 version of A Christmas Carol, which is my all-time favourite version. Let's take your comments after we hear from Dom. Dom.
Oh, it was lovely, wasn't it? It was just such a treat. And it was shot amazing. Like I said, I'd really, really like to see the widescreen version of this.
Yeah.
Just because the scenes are beautiful. They're shot like pictures, like pieces of art. Yeah, exactly. Scott went on to face demons in Exorcist 3, says Gary.
Oh, there we go. So let's see. Let's see what the chat has to say. This man, I really like this version. I enjoy watching it every year. Miss Swift loved it. Onzi, it's a classic for sure, this version. I like it. Sharon, really good. Immortal Miss is my third favourite version because Gary needed more Carol. Sharon, great cast. Calbot, one of the best versions of the story. High Lafina, good version. Love the original text that was taken. And Scott is perfect in the role. Like 2009 version better. Edward the Black Prince, really well made for a TV. High production, acted really well. Yeah, I love this version. Right. Amy Wilder, nice Christmas movie. Glad you picked it. Everyone seemed to have a great time. And I hope you all have an amazing, amazing Christmas.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Neil, happy holidays and all be safe. Yeah. All right. As you all know, next week will be our last watch party of the year and our last watch party. We're not going to get sad. It's the festive season. We're going to have a nice time. And we're going to have a great fun time with the film I've laboured long and hard over to pick for our final watch party. I'd love you all to be there. We're going to be watching Second-Hand Lions, which I don't know if any of you have seen. I'm sure some of you have, which is a film I really enjoy. It ends on a great message, and a message I'd like to share with you all. But yeah, as Sharon says, Sharon and the rest of the community, Dominic and I, are so happy that the rest of you will be carrying on when we hand over stewardship of watch parties. But please don't let anything put a dampener on anything. We will have an amazing time next week, and in more so, please, everyone, have an amazing, whatever you celebrate, Christmas, whatever, or if you just take some time out, spend it with loved ones, have a great time, and remember, we're all a big family, and we will see you in 7 days. So please, have a wonderful, whatever you're celebrating. Merry Christmas for me. Please be kind to each other, put positivity into the world, and we will see you for the last time in 7 days. Until then, everyone, good night.
Good night.